Tonight, a case of arson and a missing tenant.
Anytime you have a significant fire like that and we're not able to locate the tenant that lives there, it causes some concern and some suspicions.
Deepening questions about a house fire in Kitchener. The plea to move over.
We have been noticing an increase lately in vehicles not yielding to our emergency lights and sirens.
A call to drivers about decisions.
Every second counts in these situations.
That could save a life. Rage against the resale.
And then resold for 3 to 6 times as much? That's ridiculous.
From the ballpark to Queen's Park, calling out the skyrocketing costs.
When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people.
To see the World Series.
Good evening. We begin with developing news tonight. A Cambridge man has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder in a double shooting that happened in the city last year. Let's get right over to CTV's Krista Simpson now live for all of these new details that just came in from police late this afternoon. Krista, remind us about where this happened.
Tony, the shooting happened on Lena Crescent, which is in the residential area right behind Cambridge Centre, back on November 27th of last year. Officers were called to the area just after 8:30 in the evening, where they found 2 men shot. One of them, a 40-year-old from Cambridge, had died. A 31-year-old man from Cambridge was also found outside with a gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital with injuries considered serious but not life-threatening. At the time, police said they believed it was a targeted incident. Today, they've announced they have arrested a 37-year-old man from Cambridge. He is charged with second-degree murder, attempted murder, and breach of probation. Police did not release the name of the arrested man. He was held for a bail hearing. Regional police add that they do not anticipate any further arrests in this investigation. Tony.
All right, CTV's Krista Simpson with new reporting on that double shooting arrest. Krista, thank you. And next, a tragedy that began in a Brampton parking lot and ended hours later at a gas station in Niagara Falls. A mother was murdered, a child was taken, and a father is now dead after an interaction with police. A grieving family say they had concerns over the safety of the mother. CTV's Janice Golding begins our coverage.
Heartache etched on their faces, the grieving drop off flowers for Savannah Kula.
It is tragic. She was such a good person and a good mom.
Friends and family identifying the victim of a daylight shooting in a Brampton parking lot as a 29-year-old mother of 4, 3 boys, and a baby girl who was the subject of an Amber Alert yesterday.
I saw the Amber Alert and I knew right away it was her daughter. And I had a gut feeling it had something to do with the shooting.
Today, Kula's family is reeling from their loss.
I can't believe it. Like, I woke up today like, where's my sister? And she's gone.
They also spoke of the conflicted relationship between the deceased and her accused killer, 38-year-old Anthony DeShepper.
She was in love with him. They met love at first sight, apparently. He was great for the first while. And while she was pregnant, and then afterwards, he just got worse and worse and worse.
She loved him, and then they were separated, and he just couldn't let it go.
Kula's mother says Savannah had struggled with her daughter's father for some time.
Oh, he was just phoning her 50, 60, 70 times a day. You know, he had cameras installed, and we didn't know. Just keep an eye on her.
Alleging he'd been stalking and harassing her.
And she just tried to get away from him, and she would go see him and say, you know, this is over, and that's what she did on the weekend.
Now her granddaughter's mother and father are both gone.
I'm sorry to say this, I'm glad he's gone, and mainly because now her ex was very afraid of those boys being around when he got, like, violent, right? Not violent, but when he got crazy. So now I know that we'll be able to have those 3 boys again with no problem, because he wouldn't have let us see them if he knew Anthony was on the loose.
Still, 4 children are now without a mother.
She was just such a good girl, you know. She was just, like, so excited to watch her kids grow, and she was a great mom, and, you know, they loved her so much.
3 little boys were asking where Mommy was last night.
Although Kula's family says they'll be doing what they can to support the children.
We have a lot of family members, so the babies will be okay. Kids will be okay.
Peel Regional Police have described the incident as an intimate partner-related homicide.
And that reporting from Janice Golding. Meanwhile, the province's Special Investigations Unit's been called in to examine the circumstances surrounding that Police-involved shooting of Anthony DeShepper early this morning. It happened hours after police had issued a shelter-in-place warning for residents of Crystal Beach. Here's CTV's John Musselman.
The manhunt ended at this small Niagara Falls gas station around 2:30 this morning. Police confirmed that 38-year-old Anthony DeShepper was a passenger in this vehicle. It was being driven by an unidentified woman who is now in police custody. DeShepper died at the scene after he was shot by police.
My understanding is that police were tracking this individual and they ended up boxing in a vehicle that the man was in, and then there were shots fired.
Police say a gun was recovered at the scene. A large bladed weapon was also visible on the ground. DeShepper was at the center of yesterday's Amber Alert after his infant daughter was taken following the alleged killing of the child's mother in Brampton. At one point, police issued a shelter-in-place order for residents in the Fort Erie area because there were concerns the suspect was nearby. Police say a short time later, he was tracked to Niagara Falls after dropping the child off to a family member in the Niagara region.
We received evidence that took us to Crystal Beach. And based on that evidence, a shelter in place was put in. That was to ensure not only the public safety, but the safety of our officers while they were looking for the subject.
We have since learned that DeShepper had previous charges for weapons offenses connected to a shooting in Brampton back in 2023. He also posted on a GoFundMe site last March appealing for financial support due to medical issues that he claimed prevented him from working. DeShepper fled in a different car yesterday. Police say it has since been recovered, but the location was not provided. Police have not disclosed the connection between DeShepper and the woman driving the car this morning that was tracked to the gas station. John Musselman, CTV News in Niagara Falls.
Well, next, troubling new questions about a house fire in Kitchener that happened on the weekend. Police now think it was deliberately set, and a 25-year-old tenant of the home is now missing under what investigators describe as suspicious circumstances. CTV's Heather Centerin joining us live now with more. Heather, you know, certainly a lot to try to unravel here, but police do tell us in any event they think this fire was a targeted act.
And there are a lot of unanswered questions, Tony. The main one being, where is the resident who lives there now? Police trying to find that out and check on the tenant's well-being. It was around 6 on Sunday morning when the rear of this home on Major Street, not far from Lancaster and Wellington in Kitchener, caught fire. The damage described as significant.
And through investigation, we determined that the fire was suspicious and has classified it as an arson.
At the time, fire crews were told one person may have been inside, but no one was found and no injuries were reported.
And I won't get into other things that were located in the unit, but I can say that there was nobody located inside the unit.
Now, Waterloo Regional Police say the tenant, 25-year-old Eli Woods, is missing.
We don't have any information to indicate that Eli Wood was involved in setting the fire or anything like that. We won't know that until we speak to them.
Police are appealing for tips, saying they want to check on Woods' well-being.
Anytime you have a significant fire like that and we're not able to locate the tenant that lives there, it causes some concern and some suspicion.
Police say Woods has partial white eyebrows and eyelashes and white hair, along with a flower and seahorse tattoo on the left forearm and a rainbow tattoo on the upper right arm.
Approximately 4'10". Between the weights of 85 to 95 pounds.
Police say Woods lived in the rear unit of the home. The fire damage, pegged at around $500,000, was contained to that area. Regional police are urging anyone who knows where Eli Woods is to reach out. The Ontario Fire Marshal is also helping with this investigation. Tony.
All right, Heather Centerin with new developments on that house fire investigation in Kitchener. Heather, thank you. When every second counts, how drivers respond to emergency sirens can make a big difference. And first responders in Waterloo Region say not everyone is pulling over or getting out of the way fast enough when they're getting to those calls. CTV's Hannah Schmidt joining us now live near a fire station along a very busy street, Weber and University area of Waterloo. Well, Hannah, emergency responders there and elsewhere tell you this is a problem.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. Whether it's firefighters, paramedics, or police on any and all of these calls, confusion on the roads can hinder response times and put people in danger.
When responding to a call, the last thing emergency crews need is a driver who hesitates.
Every second counts in these situations.
Whether it's a cruiser, fire truck, or ambulance, emergency personnel are urging drivers to slow down and move over when they see those flashing lights.
We have been noticing an increase lately in vehicles not yielding to our emergency lights and sirens while we're responding to calls.
We do have our challenges too. The times are in the morning rush hour and afternoon at rush hour traffic. That's our trouble times.
Paramedics aim to reach critical calls in under 6 minutes, fire crews within 5, and police as quickly as possible for urgent emergencies.
Two big things we see are distracted drivers and freezing up and not knowing what to do.
This is what you should do, and this is what you shouldn't. It's driving behaviors like this that can put both emergency personnel and surrounding drivers in dangerous situations when sharing the roads.
Sometimes we have vehicles that just stop right in front of the ambulance. Sometimes it seems that they don't realize we're behind them.
It's not always that easy. Time of day is a huge factor. Nighttime we can get around pretty easy. Rush hour, not so much.
Police say the same courtesy applies to tow operators, who often work just feet from live traffic lanes. Failing to move over could cost you $490 and 3 demerit points.
So it's a significant fine, but it's meant as a reminder to drivers that this is a priority and this is the safety of the public that we're trying to ensure.
Across the board, the message is the same.
It's really a concern. It can actually further delay the response of that vehicle. So just stopping where you are isn't really the solution.
Emergency crews say awareness is starting to improve, but they're still seeing too many close calls. Right now, they're really just urging drivers to stay alert and aware when out on the roads. Tony.
All right, timely reminders. Hannah, thank you. CTV's Hannah Schmidt live on location in Waterloo for us tonight. And it's time now for a first check on the weather as we head over to Alex Pinto in studio. Boy, I think we lost a significant number of leaves from the trees in the last 24 hours. Things were a little gloomier and a whole lot cooler today. I think I'm right about that today.
You are correct. Definitely noticeable, and yeah, it's feeling more and more like fall as the week continues. And even last night, some gusts of wind, heavy rain at times, even for us today too. And before we take a look at our boards, I just want to show you some footage we captured from just outside of our studio. Yeah, this was earlier this afternoon. Rain quite heavy at times here in Kitchener. So some beautiful colors still out there, but depending on where you may have been, you may have been caught in a bit of a downpour on and off throughout the day. The cloud cover sticking with us for most of the afternoon, and that rain expected to stick around as we wrap up the work and school week. The good news, though, it looks like we could be in for a bit of a break once we get to the weekend, so we'll get into that in just a moment. But starting with our satellite and radar map, we can see some scattered showers throughout, still making their way right across southern, southwestern Ontario, pretty much as we get into the evening hours as well. Temperature-wise, as Tony mentioned, we're noticing it getting cooler and cooler, currently sitting at 7 in Kitchener-Waterloo, 9 in Toronto, 7 also if you are in the city of London this hour. So we're definitely feeling more seasonal, but we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at how much rain we could potentially see by the end of the week. That's coming up a little bit later. Tony.
Okay, Alex, thank you very much. We'll talk to you shortly. A safety warning from police prompted some of Waterloo Region's LGBTQ+ community groups to move events online yesterday or cancel them. CTV's Ashley Bacon joining us live now with more on the situation. Ashley, what can you tell us about what we know here?
Well, Tony, police say they had information about a planned disruption targeting an unspecified event for the community that prompted Spectrum Community Space to change their event to a virtual format, while KW Gays and Theys canceled an event entirely. They decided to reschedule their Tuesday night gathering called Beers and Queers. Police didn't provide details about the disruption reports, but decided to put out a safety warning. Spectrum's executive director says it's deflating and says situations like this underscore why queer-specific events are vital for the community.
As a queer person, it feels terrible. I think we know there's hate. We know there's not 100% acceptance. At the same time, when there are these moments where the prevalence of hate comes to the surface, we see just kind of a doubling, quadrupling down of support. And for us at Spectrum, we are extremely firm that we're not backing down.
Spectrum is hitting that point home by sharing the message that it's business as usual. They say programming is running as planned and reiterate that it's needed now more than ever. People can stay up to date on any changes through Spectrum's social media channels. Tony.
Okay, Ashley Bacon joining us live. Ashley, thank you for that. We are 2 sleeps away from the World Series returning to Toronto for the first time since 1993. But the excitement is mixed with some frustration for fans trying to get their hands on game tickets that are several times more expensive in the resale market. As CTV's Colton Weens tells us, the conversation over the cost even has Premier Ford's attention.
I think, like a lot of fans, I'm frustrated that resale markets are where you can only get tickets.
Ronak Patel says he logged on to Ticketmaster on Tuesday, an hour before World Series tickets went on sale. And after wading through thousands of people in the queue, all that was left were much more expensive tickets from verified resellers.
And it's not fair that people are able to just profit off of the fandom that we have for our sports teams and our bands.
Then today, when standing room only tickets were released, Patel says he was 33,000th in line. Tickets originally selling for $345 quickly sold out, leaving him with resale options at over $1,200.
So I've got a renewed sense of frustration again. And if I lose a ticket out to you because you got in line faster than me, great, enjoy the game. I'm happy to see you there. Go Jays go. But I don't want somebody else to just make money off of it.
And other local fans reporting similar experiences.
I was on the queue and I was like 3,000. Oh, really? And then I go in there and they're all pre-sales. Yeah. And they're like $2,500 for where we were sitting. It was insane.
At Queen's Park today, the Premier said he may introduce legislation to cap resale prices, even though his government scrapped a law that would have done that in 2019.
When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people. So we're actually reviewing that right now.
Are you considering legislation, Mr. Premier?
Well, we're looking at that right now.
Why did you scrap it in the first place?
Well, let's look at it and we'll see. I just don't believe in one company controlling everything.
Ticketmaster and its parent company Live Nation did not respond to our request for comment today, but in the U.S., where the Federal Trade Commission is suing Ticketmaster, a company executive has indicated tighter limits are being placed on the number of Ticketmaster accounts that can be created. Back here at home, some World Series tickets today were still listed on resale sites for upwards of $16,000.
MLB owners have caps. They say you can only spend so much before you get hit with the luxury tax. So why is it that we go and protect the owners of these organizations that say they have to play fairly against each other, but then for the average fan, it's free for all?
Colton Weens, CTV News.
It's been a long time coming, but the bins have arrived, although you can't use them yet. CTV's Alexandra Hollick has more on the rollout of a big shift in the region's waste collection program.
Well, more showers for your Wednesday and some more wet weather could be on the way. We'll break it down in your full forecast coming up a little bit later.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
Coming soon to a curb near you, new waste collection carts that are being rolled out in parts of Waterloo region. Daily deliveries expected over the next few months. CTV's Alexandra Hollick now with what homeowners need to know.
It's been a long time coming. A sea of 70,000 waste collection carts ready to roll out across Waterloo region.
We're getting ready to deliver over about 400,000 carts. That way, all 170,000 households in the region will get ready for our service.
For now, these bins are stored in one of 2 locations in the region, including here in Cambridge. But over the next few months, homeowners will start seeing these bins show up at the end of their driveways.
Carts are being delivered starting from the outside of the region, moving in towards the center.
According to the region, households in these areas will receive their carts in the next 2 to 3 weeks. In Cambridge, deliveries have already begun.
When residents receive the carts, there is a kind of a notification that kind of seals the carts that say stop, do not use until March 2026. Our info kit also has reminders about the program starting next year.
Earlier this year, homeowners had the chance to choose between a larger and smaller black garbage bin. But the region says the size isn't set in stone.
Residents will use the carts that they receive for about 6 months. If they decide it's not the right size for them, they want to size up, they want to size down, we will offer an exchange period in the fall of 2026.
For now, the new carts can be stored away because they can't be collected using the current system.
Please continue using your current green bin, your garbage bags and containers for our program until we switch over in March 2026.
By then, it'll be out with the old and in with the new.
The old green bins and garbage containers can be repurposed, and that's what we do encourage. You can use it for sports equipment, soil, mulch, things around the garden.
The region says all of the carts are expected to be delivered by the end of February. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Cambridge.
Our web team has everything you need to know about the carts and the new waste collection program that's coming to Waterloo Region. Just head over to ctvnewskitchener.ca for all those details. In Stratford this week, a move aimed at helping the city's homeless population. Council has voted unanimously to support a proposal for a new warming center. It'll be at the Connection Center at St. Paul's Anglican Church and operated by the Canadian Mental Health Association here on Perth. During the winter, it's going to operate 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. for those experiencing homelessness. No beds will be provided, but it does offer a resting space and hot meals. City Council approved funding for the warming center of up to $350,000 for next year and the year after. A new study is shedding light on a major source of burnout for Canadian doctors: increasing amounts of paperwork. The study, shared by RBC, consulted about 500 physicians over the summer. 72% said non-clinical administrative work was a significant driver of workplace exhaustion. 77% said their administrative workload was reducing the time they can spend with patients. The research follows warnings from the Canadian Medical Association that 2/3 of doctors are spending more time on those tasks than they did 5 years ago, driving demand for innovation and streamlining of paperwork. Meanwhile, think tank MEI is out with a new report warning Canada is burning through its young nurses at an alarming rate, just as the healthcare systems across the country struggle to keep them on staff. The findings show for every 100 nurses under 35 who registered to practice, 40 others did not renew their registration in 2023. The report says nursing job vacancies have also tripled nationwide over a 5-year span, from around 13,000 in 2018 to nearly 42,000 in 2023. The authors said the findings show the importance of staffing flexibility to keep younger nurses in the profession. Live look outside from the University and Weber area of Waterloo. Our photographer Dave Pettit giving us a look at a pretty threatening sky. You can see some sun trying to peek through, but wow, we did also have that threat of rain lingering, even a couple of quick downpours today. Alex is back with the rest of our forecast in just a few moments. And later, taking the next steps toward a plan to generate more electricity and thousands of new jobs over in Bruce County. But next, the Prime Minister is going on national television tonight, just days ahead of his government unveiling its first spending plan. Alex is back with our extended forecast. We were kind of all just discussing in the break the situation with the weather this past week, and it can be best summed up as it's all about timing.
Yes.
I mean, you can get some really enjoyable moments where you're out there enjoying the sun, and then suddenly downpour. It's been very specific this week, the weather.
Yeah, you may have noticed that was the situation last night when you had plans to go for a run, and then
got all changed into my running gear. got outside and then was getting pelted with sideways rain.
Yeah,
and then I'm sure it was gone an hour later.
I was going to say, it did not even last that long. But those winds, quite gusty last night, too. And for us today, you may have noticed, hopefully you didn't get stuck in the rain, but showers on and off, heavy at times as well. As we take a live look outside, it looks like, yes, those clouds still sticking around this evening. Gray sky also for us, too. It was kind of nice when we got some peaks of sun, but might not see the sun until potentially tomorrow or the day after, because yes, we're going to have more cloud cover and more wet weather headed our way. So starting with the futurecast for us this evening, potentially more rain expected as we get into your overnight hours, into your early morning as well. The morning, though, we could get a little bit of a break. This is what we're seeing in terms of this evening. So if you do have plans to go outside, you might get a little bit of a break around the 9 o'clock hour or so, but even around 10 tonight. We could see some rain, heavy at times, depending on where you are, particularly if you are going to be a little bit further south in the Brantford, London, Port Stanley area. And then getting into your Thursday, another round for some wet weather is expected. So in terms of trying to plan out those outdoor activities, the dog walks, or maybe going for a run, it can kind of hit you out of nowhere. So something to keep an eye on the skies there. But yes, getting into the overnight, early morning hours, we could see a little bit of more wet weather. Again, some breaks in between. But with those breaks, we're expected to kind of see that cloud cover sticking with us, even north towards Wyerton, Barrie, Aurelia. Getting into tomorrow, again, rain heavy at times on and off as well. So Friday's when we could get a little bit of a break. So we're not seeing completely green here on the Futurecast. But that cloud cover still going to be with us. And when we talk about how much rain we are expected to see earlier in the day, Environment and Climate Change Canada estimating between 10 and 15 millimeters of rain. Our system showing at this point by Friday, we here in Waterloo region potentially could see 9 millimeters or so. If you are going to be in the Goderich area, though, 23 millimeters of rain expected, and 10 if you are a little bit more north in the Owen Sound area. Temperature-wise, across the province, Moosonee sitting at 4, Timmins 5, 6 in Thunder Bay, so a little bit cooler in to the north right now. Mount Forest, though, sitting at a chillier 6 degrees, and 10 in Goderich, so slightly warmer if you're by the water this hour. For us here in Waterloo region, our expected daytime high 10, but we did not hit that this afternoon, and we are dropping. Just in the last hour, we were at an 8, and now we are 7 degrees right now. So overnight, 5 degrees is what we're expected to dip down to, with, again, those showers sticking with us. And then tomorrow, expected high of 9 degrees, mainly cloudy conditions, and again, 60% chance of showers. So in terms of daytime highs and lows, we are sitting pretty seasonal for both for this time of year. Record high 25.6, that was set back on this day, 1947. And it was just -6 in 1923, and that sun setting before 6:30 in the evening now officially. So over the next several days, this is when we could see a little bit of sun maybe peeking through, but that chance of showers expected to stick with us. At this point, looking like a beautiful weekend for Waterloo region. And for Lambton, Kenton, Essex, more cloud cover for tomorrow, high of 12 degrees. 40% chance of showers is what we're seeing before we get some more sunshine, hopefully. And southern Georgian Bay, chance of showers for your Thursday, high of 9 degrees. And that chance of showers, it looks like, could be sticking around to kick off the weekend. And here is tonight's Weather Watcher picture, and I absolutely just love this pup here. So Jen, leader sending us, this is Rusty, and Rusty just loves to play in those leaves. And I'm sure many of us, too, as kids and dogs alike, just like making a nice big pile, jumping in, and this is apparently Rusty's favorite time of the year.
It was captured at the perfect moment, kind of like he's got a big smile on his face right now.
Yeah, big smile. Looks like maybe I went for a little bit of a run.
Possibly.
Needs some water.
Ready for some water. Yeah, Rusty's had a good workout in those leaves. All right, well, Alex, thank you very much. And do we have something else to get to here first? No, we don't. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alex Pinto, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's a big day for Prime Minister Mark Carney, a primetime speech about the economy with a lot at stake. The Prime Minister met with the leaders of the Bloc and the Conservatives today. He's doing the dance with the budget less than 2 weeks away. CTV's Mike LeCouture sets the scene.
What is the message you hope to convey to Canadians tonight with your address?
The message will be conveyed in the address. But
the Prime Minister was tight-lipped ahead of his evening speech, which is being given to students who are entering the workforce at a moment of rupture in our history.
We have to make major investments in our economic capacity and our trade capacity. And I haven't seen the speech, but I'm sure he'll be talking about some of those things.
CTV News has learned the speech will focus on 4 themes: diversifying trade partners away from the U.S., a new talent and immigration plan to fill the workforce's needs, climate, and the core principle of the budget, to spend less and invest more. After an early morning meeting with the Prime Minister, the leader of the Bloc Québécois said his MPs will support the budget if some key demands are met, including increasing health transfers to the provinces by more than $11 billion.
It's their responsibility and only theirs to find somebody to vote with them. They know our conditions, and if they wake up a little bit late, it's once again their problem.
Ahead of his meeting with the Prime Minister, the Conservative leader was open to collaboration.
And if he takes my suggestions of bringing down the deficit to the level the Liberal government promised, of getting rid of the hidden taxes on food, well, then let's have a look at it.
Now, if the Liberals can't get opposition support for November's budget, the government would fall, and there would be the second election in just 7 months. But multiple MPs say Canadians aren't in the mood for that. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
A North American first opens new doors for the agri-food sector in southwestern Ontario. Coming up, the benefits expected from an Italian food processing giant's new presence in the London area. Italian food processor Andriani opened its doors in London today. It's the company's first production facility in North America. And as CTV's Brian Bicknell tells us, the opening also helps cement southwestern Ontario's status as a major centre for the agri-food industry.
Music and culture, and of course food. It was all part of the international fanfare as the first products rolled off the assembly line. Hundreds of dignitaries from Ontario and Europe were on hand as Italian food producer Andriani, maker of Felicia brand gluten-free and plant-based foods, held the official opening of its first North American production plant, located on Innovation Drive in East London.
Today we are celebrating much more than the opening of a new plant. It's the beginning of a new chapter.
The $55 million plant is more than 61,000 square feet in size, and that makes for a lot of pasta.
If you produce 24 hours, 320 days per year, etc., you can reach a final capacity of 14,000 tons of pasta. Just as a number. 14,000 tons. Okay, good.
And the consumer also are changing, are looking for quality for sure, but also more nutrients.
Located in the heart of the Southern Ontario Farm Belt, what that means is this company has easy access to everything it needs to make its products. The new plant gives the company a foothold in the North American market, but it also cements London's position as an agri-food hub.
We're ready to be aggressive on attracting agri-food and food manufacturers to our city.
And Andriani just adds another layer of innovation and global quality production.
Among the guests at the opening, Italy's ambassador to Canada, who praised the economic partnership.
And how great our ambitions are when we really strive for the best of quality, when we strive for excellence.
The company says the plant will employ 40 people by the end of the year. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Updating our top stories now, checking in with Leanne Evans in studio. And Leanne, an arrest now made in connection with a shooting in Cambridge that happened almost a year ago.
Yeah, the shooting happened on Lena Crescent last November. 2 men were shot, 1 had died. Late this afternoon, police announced they've arrested a 37-year-old man from Cambridge. He's charged with second-degree murder, attempted murder, and breach of probation. Police have not released his name. He was being held for a bail hearing. A mother murdered, a child taken, and a father dead after an interaction with police. Tonight, a grieving family say they had concerns over the safety of the woman who was shot and killed yesterday at an Brampton Plaza. The SIU is also investigating after the police-involved shooting of the suspect, 38-year-old Anthony DeShepper, early this morning. The child was dropped off with family and is safe. Peel Regional Police described the incident as an intimate partner-related homicide.
And Leanne, looking at what our digital team has, baseball fans, of course, gearing up for the World Series. Our web team has put together a look at how Canadians celebrated the Jays win back in 1992.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to look back at the historic moment then versus now, and just that look back in time from our original reporting to photos, fan excitement, and so much more. You can check it all out by scanning the QR code there in the bottom corner of your screen, or going to CTV News Kitchener.ca. Oh, how times have changed, but we are hoping for the same results.
Oh, 92, 93. You know, I was over at a friend of mine's house when we were younger watching the World Series on one of those great big satellite dishes in the backyard.
Wow.
And she texted me the other night and said, "We did it."
I hope you have a photo of that.
I don't.
Too bad.
We didn't have smartphones around.
Maybe we'll be recreating this time around.
I wish I did. Yeah. Well, we're going for 3 now.
There we go.
3 World Series. Thanks, Leanne. Plans to build Canada's first large-scale new nuclear reactor in decades are picking up in Bruce County. CTV's Scott Miller now with more on the project that could bring thousands of jobs to the area.
In July of 2023, Bruce Power got the green light to start planning for the construction of 4 to 5 more nuclear reactors at their sprawling Bruce County compound. 2 years later, the dream is slowly taking shape.
We really want to do a large new build because that's what makes sense for the site, but we really want to do it safely, with high quality, low cost, and on time.
At a Clean Energy Frontier conference near the Bruce Power site today, representatives from across the country heard about the immense impact building brand new nuclear reactors might have on the region, province, and country.
Our current operation, we're talking 27,000 jobs across Ontario, 7,000 megawatts of reliable power. When you add Bruce C to that mix, those jobs double to over 50,000, at least during construction and our base operation. GDP to Canada, $200 billion, and increasing the site output to 12,000 megawatts.
The impacts locally to building more nuclear reactors could see 2,600 new jobs supported in the region each year, along with the 4,200 full-time employees on site right now. That's not to mention up to 20,000 jobs supported and created during construction, says an interim Ontario Chamber of Commerce study.
So Bruce C would be 21,000 direct and indirect jobs, and during operation a little more than 8,000 jobs. So it would kind of double what we're doing already with our life extension.
Before Bruce C could be approved, the Indigenous rights holders to the Bruce site, the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, would need to be on board. They aren't yet, saying legacy nuclear issues, specifically around the storage and handling of nuclear waste, must be dealt with before they give their blessing to the proposed project.
So we really want to have a partnership, more than an agreement, if you want, with the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, where they are really part embracing the project and they get direct benefit from the project. That's what we want to invent for Bruce C.
Pretty much everyone at today's Clean Energy Conference is behind the project, recognizing it will bring challenges like around housing, but challenges they are more than happy to try and deal with.
We have seen the job creation, we've seen the quality of life, we've seen the ability to attract and retain young people.
We're really excited about the proposed Bruce C site. Certainly we think about the job creation and assessment growth for our municipalities, which then in turn turns into things like recreation facilities, support for small business.
If it does move forward, it is believed it would be more than a decade before the Bruce C nuclear facility could be operational. In Bruce County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
All right, 49 hours and 14 minutes until the first pitch is thrown at the World Series in Toronto. Not that we're keeping track, right? But how do baseball's 2 best teams actually stack up against one another? A closer look at that next. It's a beautiful shot of the skyline tonight. Well, Friday cannot come soon enough for Toronto Blue Jays fans and, of course, the players. And that's when the team takes on the defending champion LA Dodgers in Game 1 of the World Series. So how do the teams stack up? CTV's Heather Wright has the numbers.
Tinseltown versus Hogtown. Hollywood versus, well, Hollywood North. The World Series heads to Toronto this week. 2 teams, 2 cities, but only 1 champion.
Nervous, a little bit of an upset tummy, but I think we can do it.
I think the Blue Jays have more spirit. They play like the team is even all the way down from 1 to 9, and they play like a team.
As they were at the start of the season, the Dodgers are the betting favorites to win their 2nd World Series title in as many years.
She's gone!
While the Blue Jays have gone from worst to first, finishing dead last in the American League in 2024 to winning it all this year.
I think that it's anybody's game, and I think the Jays are the underdogs, and the underdogs always come out.
The LA Dodgers have won 8 World Series in their history compared to 2 for the Toronto Blue Jays. And when it comes to payroll, both teams may be big spenders, but LA has doled out far more cash for stars like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts.
The Dodgers' payroll is closer to $350 million, whereas the Blue Jays is about $250. So $100 million, that's a huge gap, right? That's another Shohei Ohtani or 2, right, that they can afford with that difference.
And while the Dodgers took the season series against the Blue Jays 2-1, the Jays have the better regular season record and have earned home field advantage because of it, which at least one statistician says gives the Jays a slight edge.
I did a simple statistical model and just tried to put it all together. I'm currently estimating Toronto with a 52.46% chance of winning the World Series.
At the end of the day, though, there really is only one number that matters, and that is 4. 4 games to win the World Series. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, we have more news in a moment, but first, I know that it is time to head over to Alex.
Well, plenty of rain for us today and more on the way, as we saw a little bit earlier, but we'll let you know how cool conditions will be to start off your Thursday, and wake up weather coming up after the break. Here's a look at your Wednesday night lineup at 7 o'clock. Stick around for E-Talk before shifting gears at 7:30. Then it's The Floor and Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage airing at 9 before The Amazing Race.
A Day is back on 105.3 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Okay, I think we're back on track here. Everything's all organized. It is time, though, to check in with Leanne Evans. She's got to look at what our team's following for later tonight. Leanne.
Tony, we are following the latest developments in an arrest that was made this afternoon in connection to a shooting in Cambridge nearly a year ago now. At the time, police said they believed it was a targeted incident. Today, they've announced they have arrested a 37-year-old man from Cambridge. We'll have the latest details on that and developments at 11:30. Tony.
Okay, Leanne, thank you as we continue to track new reporting on that story. And time for a look at Wake Up Weather with Alex for our Thursday morning. Feeling like November's not too far away with this kind of weather.
Fast approaching. October just kind of flew by as well.
It really has.
And of course, we're now feeling like we are in that full fall swing. And tomorrow morning, a little rinse and repeat. Yes, more showers potentially on the way. 6, we're going to be hitting about 6 degrees or so. Cloudy sky, but then we could by 8 see a little bit of that sunshine pop up. By 10 o'clock, though, we should be hitting around 8 with, again, that chance of showers sticking around, Tony.
Okay. Well, finally for us, we love a little history mystery in a news story, and that's what this one's all about. It's a mystery dating back more than a century at a church in Cambridge. So someone dropped off a journal written more than 100 years ago by one of the church's early ministers.
CTV's Karis Mapp tells us more about the discovery and the lingering questions about where it's been.
When she isn't ringing the church bells, Cambridge Central Church volunteer Ingrid Talpak has been trying to unravel a mystery. It started with a phone call from an unknown woman on October 7th.
I'm on my way to Cambridge, and I have a book that I want to give to you that I think belongs to the church.
That book, dropped off to the church secretary, turned out to be the detailed diary of James Dixon, a key figure from the church's early days.
Reverend Dixon was the first minister of Central Church. He was the minister from 1879 until 1914. The church was actually started to be built in 1880 and it was finished building in 1882.
The Dixon last name is well known in Cambridge. William Dixon founded Galt in 1816, though there may not be any relation.
I have been going through the genealogical records. I just have not had the time to look through it.
The multi-part journal outlines James Dixon's journey to Canada from Scotland.
These are photos of himself, and then it starts with, I came to Canada via Quebec in 1857, and this is talking about his voyage here as he's going through Edinburgh and ends up in Liverpool.
Photographs, news clippings, even correspondence with his publisher in New York City. Each page highlighting the sights and even the smells of a different time.
There's a very strong smell of pipe smoke, so I'm good for 5-10 minutes, and then I have to step away from it.
But the mystery remains. Who is the woman who dropped off the book?
All we know about her is that she lives somewhere 2 hours from Cambridge, we believe south of Cambridge, and she found it in a value village. She left without giving her name, so we would really like to reach out to her to thank her properly.
An appeal that could help unlock more of the answers about the journey of this journal. This Friday on October 24th, the church will be hosting a concert where the journal will be on display beforehand and during intermission. Kara Smapp, CTV News, Cambridge.
Oh, hopefully they'll unlock more of the mystery surrounding that journal.
I love a good history with some mystery.
Very cool. We were also making note at the beginning of Kara's story as the person in the story was playing the bells. Yeah. And I've discovered that the bells at that church are a feature in themselves. They've been around since 1906. You don't often see bells being rung manually anymore. No. A lot of them actually come from speakers in steeples. So maybe we have to do another story.
I love that, and they just sound so beautiful.
On that historic bell tower, they do sound great. Yes, beautiful sound.
Learning something new every day.
We do. That's what we aim to do. Educate, inform, entertain. But for now, we're going to bid you good night. We'll see you back here. Krista Simpson has your best local news at 11:30. Your next local news. Which is your best local news?
Take care.
I'm leaving. Good night.